Okay, so here we're looking at Mike. We'll watch it through a couple of times, fast motion. See what we got here. Okay, so Mike, if we were to break this down and we can look at it in fast motion and think about a couple of the things we talked about the other night, which was first our intent. Okay, if our intent is to really throw this ball hard, we can look at the movements of the body and we see very little being created out of the lower half. If you just focus on your lower half and you say, where's the intent? Where is this guy really driving the lower half to throw this ball hard? Okay, so you don't see a whole lot, and we'll talk more about the leg kick itself next week as we're loading into position. But we see this kind of movement here where it's really not helping us create that momentum that we're going to need. Remember, force equals mass times acceleration. So we're trying to accelerate our mass down the mound. And everything up until this point is not really helping us accelerate. And in fact, with the leg kick turning in that way, if you think about what's going to happen from there, really all you're going to do is swing your front leg out and around. And if we know this is even more interesting, if we look at, I'll draw you a line here. Okay, if we just look at that back hip, and let's see how long it takes to really get moving. You see it's still, we've already broken our hands, we're already getting ready to cock the arm and get ready to throw, yet our back hip has done nothing. It's gone nowhere. So it's not moving. We're not taking this mass right here, the central part of our body, we're not moving it down the mound. And that's, again, one of the things we'll work on next week. If you remember that drill we did where we hopped up, turned around, landed, and moved our body, that's what we're trying to create on initial leg kick. We're trying to create that momentum going towards home plate. So let's look and see when you finally do start moving. There the hip goes, okay? So now the back hip is moving, but you see the front hip's kind of just dead. So that's where we got it to at landing, okay? One thing we notice here is the back hip has not turned at all. We can tell by, looking at our front foot there. Oops, draw the arrow the other way. So if we look at the back foot, we see that it's not turned. At landing, our back foot should be completely turned, shoelaces towards home plate, which is going to, if the back foot is turned, that tells us that back hip is turned. The hip's not going to go without the foot going, okay? We'll clear those off. So one thing we're going to really work with you on is getting that lower half involved, okay? Another thing I see is simply the timing, okay? So I see your hands breaking, here, which normally would be good if the lower half was moving. But what we see is the upper body getting into position to throw. We hadn't even landed yet, okay? That would be a pretty good place. This would, right about there, would be a really good place to be at landing. If all of our weight were transferred to the front leg, front hip, okay, the back hip completely turned, this would be an explosive position for your upper body to be in. Great arm action, your arms cocked perfectly, and you actually, as you come around, you're going to see you get some decent layback right there, okay? So you're getting, your upper body is getting you to a decent position. The pieces of the puzzle that we're missing are, if we look, probably from about the bottom of the K, okay, down to here, we're really not getting a lot of help out of that part of our body, okay? And when we talk about throwing the ball hard, and I know, I'm not sure if you played on the big field last year or not, but this may be your first year throwing 60 feet, and a lot of times we try to compensate with just the upper body and the arm to cover that longer distance. Which leads to sore arms and that kind of stuff. So we really want to work on developing some movement with this lower half, learning how to use the trunk to help really bring that arm around. Your arm action itself, if all we looked at was your throwing arm, you got great arm action, man. You know, our glove side we can do a little work with, getting it a little more synced up. It kind of dies on us right there, so it's not helping us a whole lot. Everything below the UK there in this picture is really not helping us a whole lot. So what that leaves us with is, you know, we're really throwing with, you know, just kind of this part right here. That's doing all the work. Um, you know, and it's not that you can't pitch like that. You can probably throw strikes like that. You know, the two downsides are you're not going to throw as hard, and you're probably going to have a lot of arm pain because that's doing all the work for you. So we really want to work on developing the whole body into this throw. So a couple drills I want you to work on here over the next few days are, let me get rid of this. So what we want to do is let's go ahead and get into landing. Okay, when I say landing, the reason I'm turning your back foot here, okay, I want both feet facing home plate. So this toe is facing home plate. It'd be nice if we did it with an arrow. There you go. And I want this back foot turned and facing home plate. Now our heel can be down, and if we need to cheat up a little bit, you know, so that both feet can be on the ground, that's fine. I just want both toes pointing towards home plate, or both feet pointing towards home plate. Okay, so this back foot's completely open. So that's our starting point for the lower half. Both feet pointing towards home plate. However, I want our upper body to be turned into this position. Okay, so the lower half is opened, the upper half is not open. It's closed. Your chest, your trunk, your stomach, everything else is facing third base or towards this camera. Okay, and if you'll notice, everything turns at the same time. And we talk about that segmented rotation. We want the hips to go first, and then the trunk, then the chest, then finally the shoulder. Okay, and right now you got everything kind of just coming through at one time. So let's get into a strong landing to start the drill right there. Okay, that's our lower half. It's going to start there. Our upper half's going to start right there. We're going to be strong on our front side. Remember one of the drills we worked on, strong front side. So we want to feel the weight right here on this hip. So when we get to landing, okay, we want to feel the weight right there on that hip. Our knee is strong and stable. That knee is not going to move beyond that point. We did squats where our knees don't go past our toes. That's what we're working on. That strong, stable front side. The upper body is back here, and we're going to finish rotating the trunk, the chest, and into our throw, okay, from that starting point. Okay, so we're going to start the upper body here, lower body there, and we're just going to finish through. Okay, nice, easy. You can do this with a ball, making throws, or you can do it, you know, even without a baseball. Just go through the motions. Get to a strong landing, lower half. Start here with the upper body, and then rotate everything around a strong front side. Second drill I want you to do is, remember we did that jump turn drill. Okay, and the whole reason I want you to do that drill, you're going to start, you would be actually facing that way. Okay, you would jump up, spin around so that you're landing both feet. Both feet would land right there. Okay, and your first move is going to be to take this back hip and drive your body towards home plate. At the same time, you're breaking your hands, strong front landing, and then making the throw. So we're going to kind of, for this drill, we're going to get rid of that leg kick. I want our intent to be this back hip. Okay, you jump up, you land. Remember, feet close together. As soon as you land, I want your focus to be taking this back hip sideways. Keep drawing circles. I want arrows. You're going to drive sideways towards home plate. Okay? Right before you land, you're going to let the hips fire open, and then it's the same drill that you just did. Okay? So those are the two drills I want you to focus on. Strong landing leg, lower half open, upper half closed. Make your throws. And then the jump turn drive the backside into your throws. Okay? Work on that, and we'll pick up there next week. All right?